Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. I have the Mystic Mondays Tarot out on the tarot table today, which I traditionally don't use on a Monday. There it is. It's a very shiny, blingy kind of a tarot deck, very simplistic. I'm using it today because I'm looking at Meghan's propensity to misappropriate things, shiny things that don't belong to her. I'm wording it very carefully, even though, let me say my disclaimer right now, this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes, or just my opinion, or just speculation. And there is a proper disclaimer in the box below, a written disclaimer for you to go and read and familiarize yourself with. But this tendency to misappropriate things is what I'm reading on today with this Tarot Mystic Mondays. We know that she likes to take away shoes. She's been documented as keeping shoes that didn't belong to her. Taking ideas as well. And I'm going to be reading on stories about both of those kinds of activities today with the Mystic Mondays Tarot. The first one I am doing is about misappropriating an idea, plagiarizing basically. She's known to do it. She's documented as doing it. People have kept meticulous account of the many times that she has used someone else's quote, someone else's clever idea, and pretended it's hers, to quite embarrassing consequences for people who, in good faith, repeat what she has said, put it on their Instagram feed or their Twitter account or whatever, and then have to take it down. All very embarrassing. As I say, a long history of doing this. And the latest one that I am going to be looking at now today is the story about Meghan going as a young girl with Doria to a Korean spa and having to parade around naked and being very embarrassed. The story was told on her Spotify podcast, her latest podcast, which was held back during the mourning period for the late Queen. But it's been released. I don't listen to her podcast. I refuse to give her the attention. But various kind people do listen and report back. And this story was told. She's talking about Asian women as stereotypes, archetypes. I think she's using the word incorrectly myself. And anyway, I was getting grumpy about Africa all being lumped into one mess yesterday. And I'm sure anybody who lives in Asia is getting a bit agitated about Asia being all lumped together as one mess by Meghan Markle, but that's a whole other story. We're going to look today at the story about the spa, going with Doria to a Korean spa, which now it turns out might have come from someone else's experience. Just like people say, for instance, the miscarriage story came from someone else's experience, allegedly, and various others. And this one, there is speculation that Meghan lifted the story of going to a Korean spa. I'm reading what's going around on social media now from a Netflix animated series called Big Mouth, in which a mother takes her young biracial daughter to a Korean spa where she is embarrassed to be naked. Sound familiar? I think it does. So we're going to use the Mystic Monday Tarot deck and we're going to ask straight up, is the story true? Did Meghan go with Doria or not? We're going to ask her why she told the story. What's in it for her to tell this story? We're going to ask how Doria feels about all of this. Doria, who is very much in the shadows still, who keeps herself to herself, how she feels about all of this and the outcome of this now being exposed as potentially yet another lie. She even lied in court, remember, when she forgot that she helped Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand write that stunning book, Finding Freedom, and then she had to remember that she actually helped them. Don't know why one of these cards has lost its air. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We can still read with it and see what the cards want to tell us about this story, Meghan's story, the naked truth. And whoops, a little bit crooked there. And see what the cards have to say. Underlying energy, haha. can't make this up, really. I'm so busy trying to straighten out crooked cards. We need to straighten out a crooked Duchess. Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Just for entertainment purposes. Anyway, interesting card has come out as the underlying energy. We get to it finally. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords in reverse. And the dog is shouting his agreement for the fact that the underlying energy is about lies. All about lies. I think we can close the reading now. We have our answer. My neighbours are busy gardening, redoing their hedge, and so the dogs are talking over the wall to them. If you can hear chatter and dogs barking, that is what's going on. Gardening. It is spring, and so everybody is gardening. So we have the Ace of Swords. Excuse me, and I'm a little bit blocked up today. It's been very windy and I've got a little bit of hay fever. Ace of Swords in reverse, not telling the truth. Not telling the truth at all, not being clear, not being honest, and possibly even being caught out for it. Because it has always, for me, that sword has the element of justice about it. So that is that very interesting card that has come out as the underlying energy. Let's look at the situation about this spa story. We get the Fool in reverse. Well, she has been made a fool of, really, and that's the card that's dog-eared. Nice to know. That is the Fool. There she is, about to leap off into the void, into the spa baths, but in reverse. So she has done something reckless, something stupid, and she's been exposed for it. That is the root of this. We've got two cards now that tell me that the story is not true, but we'll ask. We've got a specific card to ask. She was trying to launch herself again. Remember, of course, she had to hold the podcast for Spotify because of the mourning period and everything that was going on in the royal family. And so this was her big relaunch, and here she comes, ta-ra, ta-ra. It's fallen down the ranks. I don't think Spotify is bothering anymore to try and prop up the podcast in the rankings, and no more Sunshine Sacks to do their dirty work behind the scenes, allegedly speculating on what they might do. So her big reboot of her brand has turned out to be a bit of a dud with this podcast and with this ridiculous story, which does appear to have been lifted from a Netflix series. How very funny. But let's see. We're going to look now at whether the story is true or not. Did Meghan go with Doria to the spa and get all embarrassed? We'll get the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. Pages are communications. So she may well have gone. She may well have gone as a young girl. She may. But also it's manipulative energy, the Page of Cups. And there is that moon. There is that moon in this particular depiction of the Page of Cups, if you can see it. Moons are things that are hidden, things that are doubtful, things that are suspicious, things that you can't quite take at face value. And I am reading that card, given this card here, as the underlying energy, that this is a story, and there might be a kernel of truth in it, that there might just be a grain of truth. There is a bit of a spa vibe about that cup, actually. There is a kernel of truth in here, but I think it's been doctored. I think it's been spun to make it more appealing, to make it more relatable, but a bit dodgy with that moon. So why did she tell this story? What's she trying to achieve with this story? Because it's a very weird story to tell, in my humble opinion. Why did she tell this story? 9 of Wands in reverse. She's trying to drop her guard, and she's trying to be relatable. Very clear energy of this card. It's a very clear answer. 9 of Wands, when it's upright, you've got boundaries around you. You've got your guard up. You're inaccessible. She's trying to be the people's princess. She's trying to be relatable. With that guard dropped, she's trying to say, look, I was embarrassed. I was body shamed. I wasn't comfortable when I was a young girl in this environment. But see how I've grown now. And I can go naked all over the place and not be bothered anymore. But let's not go there. So just trying to be relatable. How does Doria feel about this story? The spin on this story, definitely a spin on this story. How does she feel about it? What does she think about all of this? If she even bothers to think about it. 6 of Wands is the defeat card. It's in reverse. 6 of Wands in reverse. upright, ta-da, look at me, I'm magnificent, I'm wonderful, I'm doing so well. But in the reverse, not doing well, being ridiculous. It's sitting under the Fool card, the Six of Wands. Six of Wands in reverse, under the Fool card in reverse. She looks ridiculous. Doria knows it. Doria is walking away, slowly but steadily distancing herself from this disaster. That's the energy I'm getting from those two cards sitting next to each other. That Doria is just sliding away very quietly so that this disaster can go down without her being connected to it. And it is a disaster that's going down. Fool in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse. A massive public humiliation, really, to go and make this nonsense up based on a kernel of truth somewhere along the line, but to lift a story like that and to think people aren't going to figure it out. There are people whose sole purpose in life is to expose Meghan Markle and her untruths. And good luck to them, and thank you to them for the stellar work that they do. So the outcome for Meghan of this turning out to be embellished, let's say. Let's be charitable. For the story to have been embellished with some of the details that have come from this Netflix documentary, according to these cards, allegedly. Outcome? Yeah. Trouble for her, Five of Wands, conflict. She's in trouble again. She's in the crosshairs. People are going to be taking sides about it, and some people are going to say she's lying, and other people, her sugars and the Sussex squad, are going to say, oh, this really happened, and blah blah. She's in the thick of it again. In the thick of conflict and controversy is that Five of Wands. She's drawn it to herself. She's like a magnet for trouble. It's trouble. She thought she was going to sail through this. This podcast was going to be magnificent. Everyone was going to be fawning over her. And, the next time they send a spaceship off to the boundary of the solar system, last time I think they sent Bach along, the Goldberg variations. Now they're going to send Meghan Markle's Spotify podcasts to show the culmination, the full glory of what our species can accomplish. But nope, run into a spot of bother here. And it's going to there's going to be a lot of noise around this, and a lot of conflict and a lot of drama. She does seem to like drama. As I say, a magnet for trouble is our Megs. That is the reading. Thank you for watching. I'm getting the giggles. I have to go away and have a laugh, but I'll be back with the next reading.